I've drawn the big joker. Where's the little joker? Here. It's Michael. As soon as this name came out, there was another bout of schadenfreude. It's finally your turn, Michael. I've been waiting for this moment for a long time. Truth or dare, it has to be dare. At this time, the protagonist of the topic was sitting on the sofa with his legs wide apart. His slender fingers were pinching that little joker. He frowned and looked at it for a couple of seconds. Come on. The person who got the big joker didn't randomly assign the content of the dare. Instead, he drew a card from the game cards. Then he read out the content on it. Kiss the person fourth to your left. Who is it? Who is so lucky? Kissing the campus heartthrob? A group of people counted back and forth and finally fixed their eyes on me. The atmosphere suddenly fell silent. And at this moment I was huddled in the sofa and caught a glimpse of Michael's frowning brows. After a moment of silence, someone finally spoke up. How about just forgetting it? Can't take it? Why should we forget it? Then change to someone else? He's a guy and... Although her words were left unfinished, everyone present knew what she meant. And I like men. But Michael is extremely homophobic. The one who proposed to change the person was Sophia, the entertainment minister of the student union. As is well known, she has a crush on Michael. Many people agreed with her opinion while others refused. It's just a truth or dare game. We should play it with an open mind. Kiss. As soon as these words were spoken, the atmosphere suddenly heated up. Immediately afterwards, more people started to egg on. Kiss. Kiss. I looked up in Michael's direction. He was also looking at me. It's just that his look was a bit fierce. I also forced a fake smile at him. You chose the dare. Why are you being fierce to me? Have the guts to storm off if you can. The next second, Michael suddenly stood up and rushed in front of me. It scared me into a momentary daze. Standing there, his height of nearly 2 meters blocked all the light on me. Looking up at him, I felt a great visual pressure. He lowered his head like a cornered tiger, gritted his teeth and asked, "Can I kiss you?" It was so quiet around that you could even hear people's breathing. Michael stared at me intently as if he wanted to devour me. So fierce? I grinned and said sure. As soon as I finished speaking, his tall figure loomed over me. The warmth on my lips disappeared in an instant. Then this tiger named Michael immediately straightened up and rushed out of the private room. Only the cold hisses were left in the air. Before I even got back to the dormitory, this incident had gone viral on the school's Tiaba. My friend Leo asked me online, "Sebastian, did you really kiss Michael?" "Yes, Dada." "How did it feel?" "You're so awesome." "No feeling at all. It was just a peck. Ooh. Damn it. If you two got together, it would be a great loss to the gay circle of university, eh? What are you thinking about? He's homophobic. Ooh. The topic ended there and I strolled back to the dormitory leisurely. It would really be a great loss to the gay community at university, eh? What are you thinking about? He's homophobic. Ooh. The topic ended there and I strolled back to the dormitory. The guy who kissed me and ran away before was coming out of the bathroom at the moment. His wet hair was covered with a towel and he was fully dressed. As soon as Michael saw me, he took off his shoes and jumped onto the bed without even drying his hair. My roommate Samuel came over and whispered, "Did you two quarrel?" I shook my head and said he must be having another bout of homophobia. Samuel immediately shut up. "Michael and I are roommates. I've never hidden my sexual orientation. When a girl confessed her love to me, I directly told her that I like men. So within less than half a month after the start of college, the news that I'm gay had spread all over the school. It even reached the ears of this super homophobic Michael. He seemed not to like me much right after the start of school. After learning about this, he couldn't wait to stay 3 meters away from me. Just like today, after taking a shower in the dormitory, he dressed himself up tightly when he came out, afraid that I would see even a tiny bit of his precious body. So funny. I'm a gay man, not a starving ghost who is so desperate that I want every man I see. After taking a shower with my clothes in hand, I bumped into Michael, who was hanging a towel on the balcony when I came out. Probably hearing the sound of me opening the door, his movement paused for a moment. Without turning back, he just sped up his hand movements as if the accelerator had been pressed and put the towel back in place. I'm already used to his crazy behavior like this. Wiping my hair, I passed by him. Then suddenly I heard a deep breath. Immediately afterwards came Michael's incredulous voice, "Why aren't you wearing any clothes?" I looked down at myself. I was still wearing my underwear properly, just not wearing an upper body garment. We're all men. What does it matter? Michael was immediately at a loss for words. Looking back, he was so angry that even his neck turned red. Forget it. For the sake of being roommates for half a year, I covered my chest with a towel. Is this okay? Actually, I didn't expect Michael to be outside either. Samuel had gone to bed before I went into the bathroom, and another roommate wasn't coming back to the dormitory today. As for Michael, he had rolled into bed when I came back. Moreover, there are bed curtains in the dormitory. So when my clothes fell to the ground and got wet in the bathroom, thinking that there was no one outside, I just came out directly. Who would have known that I'd run into Michael? At this time, there was no more sound behind me. I took out clean pajamas from the cabinet, turned around and asked, "Are you going to get in bed? I'm going to change my clothes." Michael tensed his muscles, his eyes fixed on the floor. It seemed that he was so angry that his voice was hoarse. "Can't you go to the bathroom to change?" I rubbed the clothes in my hand and thought this guy really had a lot of problems. "It's hot. I don't want to go. Are you going up or not? If not, I'll change right here." As I said that, I loosened one corner of the towel. The next second, a gust of wind brushed past me. Michael took long strides and got on the bed in 2 steps. "Do you think Michael has been turned gay by your kiss?" In class, Leo leaned over and whispered while also glancing backward. "Look, he's stealing glances at you again." I rolled my eyes. "Do you believe that I'm a super aggressive top or that he's been turned gay?" Leo immediately fell silent. "I believe in you." Actually, Michael had been staring at me like this for 2 days. I suspect he's just crazy. However, his looks were so fierce that everyone around me thought I had done something extremely immoral to him. It's ruining my reputation. So I've always wanted to find a chance to ask him. But he's like an intelligent vacuum cleaner. He avoids me whenever he sees me. I can't even see him in the dorm. He always comes back after I fall asleep and leaves before I wake up. I'm really fed up with him. Until tonight, I finally got a chance. When I went back to the dorm after picking up the express delivery, I saw Michael in front of me. To prevent him from running away again when he saw me, I directly went up and grabbed his hand. Michael suddenly turned around. When he saw it was me, his face changed drastically. I could clearly feel the muscles in his wrist tense up. Then came his voice, even stiffer than his muscles. "What do you want?" I let go of his hand. "Sorry, I just want to talk to you." "Have you had a problem with me lately?" Michael looked down at me with his head half lowered. Undeniably, he deserved the title of campus heartthrob. He was tall, good-looking, and even the muscle lines all over his body were just right. At this moment, the distance between us was less than 50 centimeters. The rising and falling pectoral muscles when he inhaled successfully caught my eye. Afraid that Michael would go berserk if he noticed, I shifted my gaze to his face after looking for 2 seconds. Then I witnessed an incredible scene. Michael seemed to be staring at my lips, and he was in a daze. My heart skipped a beat immediately. Could it be that he was really turned gay by that kiss? I took 2 cautious steps back. As soon as I moved, Michael's eyes flickered. Then he slowly met my gaze and said indifferently, "No." Seeing that he didn't seem willing to talk it out, I had to be more explicit than wipe that fierce look off your face. Michael frowned instantly. He asked puzzledly, "When have I been fierce to you?" I was so angry that I laughed. "You've been staring holes into me these 2 days. What, are you looking for a chance to assassinate me?" Michael paused, his eyes darted around twice, and finally landed on my lips again. His gaze was deep. I didn't move. I'd like to see what he was up to. Half a minute later, he licked his lips and said, "That was my first kiss." I was a bit stunned. What did he just say? That was his first kiss? The one that night? So Michael is still an innocent young man? Oh no, I'm going to be punished by heaven now. Although that was also my first kiss. But for me, it was just a game. But for Michael, this stubborn guy, he's a straight man. How much of a shock must it be for him to give his first kiss to a man? No wonder he's been staring at me these 2 days. Is he thinking of ways to assassinate me? Then I thought it didn't seem right. What does this have to do with me? He lost the game and he was the one who kissed me. I didn't even cause trouble for him. Is he trying to morally blackmail me? No way. I crossed my arms and said indifferently, "Then why didn't you refuse at that time? And now you're causing trouble for me." Michael hung his head as if he was thinking about something. The muscles on his arms gradually bulged. I took 2 more steps back and found a relatively safe distance. After a long while, Michael explained something out of the ordinary. "I'm not causing you trouble. I'm just thinking about something." I replied with an "oh" and didn't want to ask further, because I always felt that if we continued, something beyond my expectation would happen. Perhaps this conversation had an effect. Michael never stared at me during class again. The roommate relationship also returned to normal. It was also from this time that the news that Sophia was pursuing Michael spread throughout the school all at once. Just as I arrived outside the dormitory at night, I heard them chatting. Samuel sounded like he was teasing. A beautiful girl like Sophia is chasing you. Aren't you even a little tempted? Michael didn't say a word. I directly pushed the door and went in. Then Michael, who was sitting upright on the chair the second before, suddenly stood up, took off his shoes, climbed the ladder, got into bed, and disappeared, only leaving the chair that was still shaking from being pushed. Samuel and I glanced at each other and then silently looked away. It was the weekend the next day. Leo and I had an appointment to go camping tonight. I simply packed a few clothes and prepared to go out with my school bag on my back. Samuel poked his head out and asked, "Are you still going out so late?" I replied with an I'll be back on the weekend night. When I arrived at the camping site, I almost thought I had come to the wrong place. Leo clearly said before that it would only be the two of us. Now there was a group of people having a lively barbecue. I stood there, hesitating whether to turn back. Suddenly, Leo popped out and hugged me tightly. "Finally, you're here," he said as he led me towards the crowd. "Wait!" I slapped his hand away. "What's going on?" Leo covered his mouth and let out a chuckle, then pointed at the crowd. "What's the most important thing for a college student? Falling in love. You have to choose carefully today." I started to have a headache. "No thanks. The incident that happened at the KTV last time is still on the campus tieba." But I couldn't resist Leo's coquetry. "You're already here. Come on." Leo pulled me into the crowd. Just as he pushed me into a seat, he was called away. The seat was in a corner. I put my school bag down. Then I took out my phone and started playing Plants vs. Zombies, planning to be invisible. Fortunately, throughout the night, except for being fed a few skewers of grilled meat by the person next to me, no one paid attention to me. Early the next morning, Leo and his group were clamoring to go climbing. I was too lazy to go. I told Leo and slipped away. When I got back to the dormitory and pushed the door open, what I saw was a picture of a handsome man coming out of the bath. Michael only had a towel wrapped around his lower body, exposing his entire chest. He was still holding the doorknob of the bathroom and just stood there stunned when he saw me. This guy is as defensive against me as if I were a wolf. I walked into the room and kindly closed the door on this beautiful sight. Raising my eyebrows, I asked, "Why did you come out without clothes on?" The only response I got was the sound of the door slamming shut. Samuel lifted the bed curtain, looking confused. "What's going on so early in the morning?" I held back my smile. "Michael's in the bathroom." Samuel yawned. "Such a big commotion?" When Michael came out again, he had already changed into a set of pajamas. Well, it was the kind that you still couldn't see an inch of his body. I'm used to it. I put down my school bag and walked towards the bathroom. When I passed by Michael, he stopped me with his arm. "What are you going to do?" I looked at the arm in front of me and then at Michael's still steaming face. "Go to the toilet?" Michael's eyes flashed. "It's full of steam in there. Wait a while. It's really strange." He actually stopped me on his own initiative to prevent me from going to the bathroom. When things seem abnormal, there must be something fishy going on. I sized up Michael. I saw Michael blushing from his neck to the tips of his ears at a visible speed. "Okay, I got it. Well, it's normal for boys to have a lot of energy early in the morning." The weekend passed quickly. In the afternoon, I took my books and went to the teaching building for classes when someone called me. "Sebastian." I turned around and saw a familiar face. I responded politely, "Senior." This senior was Daniel, who had given me food during the camping trip the other day. Daniel took 2 steps forward and walked with me. "What a coincidence. I have classes on the 3rd floor. How about you?" "On the 5th floor. Full classes this afternoon?" "Yes." "Do you have time tonight?" Daniel asked naturally. I glanced at him sideways. "Yes, I do." When Daniel smiled, his eyes and eyebrows were curved, gentle like the winter sun. "Then could you give me a chance to invite you to dinner, Junior?" I didn't refuse. "Sure." After making an appointment with Daniel for dinner that night, we talked until we parted ways on the 3rd floor. When I looked up again, Michael was standing at the stairway, staring at me with a cold face. Is he crazy? Ignoring him, I walked around him and entered the classroom. After dinner with Daniel that night, we added each other online, and he even walked me to the dormitory building. Leo took the opportunity to send a cheeky emoji. Then he asked, "How was the date?" I replied, "Not bad. Do you like him? Not really. Just go for it. Get out of the single life soon. I typed while going upstairs. Then I felt there was something in front of me. I looked up and saw a dark figure standing there. It gave me a fright. Reason flew out of the window and I burst out cursing. Michael, are you crazy? What are you doing here instead of sleeping at this late hour? Michael was in his pajamas, his body blocking most of the stairs, his eyes heavy. There was no movement for a long time. I put away my phone and asked impatiently again, is there something wrong? If not, stop blocking the way. Michael moved and suddenly grabbed my wrist, pulling me up directly. Caught off guard, I staggered. It hurts. What are you doing? As I struggled, my back hit the wall. Michael lifted my hand above my head and pinned it there with one hand. With the other hand, he pinched my chin, forcing me to look into his eyes. At this moment, he was like an angry tiger, showing his fangs. You went on a date with him? Who? You mean Daniel? What's it to you? Let me go first. Michael's face was only half a palm away from mine, and his breath was on my face. I had nowhere to hide. Then I heard Michael say something I didn't quite understand. He said, you have to be responsible for me. I was full of question marks. Responsible? For what? Michael paused and said, my first kiss. This made me laugh out of anger. How? Give you one back. As soon as I said that, I clearly felt Michael's breathing getting heavier. No way, is he serious? Seeing Michael getting closer and closer, I quickly stopped him. Stop. What on earth do you want? Michael's voice became hoarse. Kiss you. Let me go. No, you clearly said I could kiss you. When did I say that? That night? Are you playing tricks on me? As I said. Michael pulled back, but his eyes didn't leave my face. The sound of his Adam's apple rolling was extremely clear at this moment. I like you. I was completely stunned by this sudden confession. What did you say? Michael repeated word by word, I like you. Michael's hand loosened. I reached up and touched his forehead. You don't have a fever. Why are you talking nonsense? Michael didn't move. His eyes were fixed on me just like that day in the private room. My heart began to beat faster. Just before I was about to be discovered, I pushed Michael away suddenly. This time, it was my turn to flee in a hurry. Then the next day, there was a huge change in Michael. He went out for a run early in the morning and brought me breakfast when he came back. He didn't wear pajamas after taking a shower. Instead, he walked around outside wrapped in a towel for a couple of rounds. Even Samuel widened his eyes and said, is he overstimulated or has he recovered from his illness? I helplessly rubbed my forehead. I picked up the breakfast and put it back on his table. I asked, what on earth do you want to do? Michael slowly buttoned up his clothes. The smell of shampoo wafted. He straightened his face and said, I want to pursue you. Michael didn't lower his voice at all. The Samuel beside me was so shocked that the bun in his mouth dropped. I took a deep breath and cursed, you're crazy. When I got to the classroom, Leo in his seat waved to me. I walked over and sat down beside him. Leo started chattering. Why didn't you reply to my messages suddenly yesterday? I still wanted to hear the details of your date. When it came to the date, I couldn't help but think of Michael. I rubbed my temples in pain. Before I could open my mouth to explain, a figure sat down beside me. It became completely quiet all around in an instant. Even Leo sat up straight. I turned my head to look. Michael put his textbook on the table, looking as if nothing had happened. My phone dinged. It was a message bombardment from Leo. What's wrong with Michael? Didn't he used to be like a mouse seeing a cat when he saw you? What happened between you two? I briefly explained it to Leo. He suddenly fell silent. You didn't really do something to him, did you? I was speechless. Do what? He's a 1.9 meter tall guy. He could knock me down with one punch. What could I do? Tisk. When a straight guy turns gay, he's either timid or aggressive. He's being aggressive now. You're really lucky, buddy. I didn't want to reply to a single word of Leo's nonsense. But he was right. Michael was really going against me. These days, he seemed to have completely let himself go. He didn't care about anything at all. So the news that he was chasing me successfully blew up the school post bar. Before I finished scrolling, a message came in online. It was Daniel. A new sci-fi movie has come out recently. I heard you like this kind of movie very much. Do you want to go and watch it with me? I thought for a while and replied, I've got a lot of schoolwork recently. I'm afraid I don't have time. Well, then you must have time for lunch, right? Daniel's voice came from behind. I turned around. He was holding his phone and shook it with a smile. Give me a chance? The school cafeteria. Not long after Daniel and I finished getting our food and sat down, I saw Michael walking towards us. Then he sat down beside me very naturally. He started eating slowly. Forget it, don't be angry. As a result, before I even took 2 bites of my meal, an unwelcome guest showed up. Sophia brought a bottle of drink and kindly placed it in front of Michael. She asked gently, "Michael, you'll come to the basketball team gathering tonight, right?" Michael mercilessly pushed the drink away without answering her. Sophia wasn't embarrassed either. She left with a smile. After the meal, Daniel left first because he had something to do. And Michael somehow produced a bottle of water and handed it to me. I didn't reach out for it. I just said thank you. Michael lowered his head and said in a somewhat sullen tone, "Why? You're asking me why? I want to ask you why." Then Michael added, "You agreed to have dinner with him, but you won't even drink my water. He and I are both chasing you, after all." Then he stole a glance at me, looking as pitiful as a tiger that had retracted its fangs. What's going on? Where was the aggressive Michael before? Why has he become like this now? It's scary. I quickly slipped away. In the afternoon, Leo told me that all the posts about me on the Tiaba had been deleted. He even specially took a screenshot for me. It was a post posted by Michael with his real name. He didn't say much, just posted a few pictures. Inside were all the IDs of those who smeared me on the Tiaba. Leo sent a message exclaiming, "Wow, Michael is so cool. Now they're as quiet as chickens with their necks wrung." I glanced at Michael's bed. He wasn't there. He should have gone to the basketball court for training. At night, just as I was about to go to sleep, Leo called, "I found Michael. Come and pick him up." I was completely confused. Michael? Why should I go to pick him up? Well, we're roommates. Hurry up. He's right in the flower bed in front of the dormitory building. I'm going out on a date. If you don't come, he'll sleep in the flower bed tonight. The call was quickly hung up. I'm a bit annoyed now. Since Samuel was scared by Michael last time, he basically doesn't stay in the dormitory on weekends. Not to mention the other roommate, he doesn't even come back at all. Now I'm the only one left in the dormitory. So, should I go to pick this guy up? Forget it. For the sake of being roommates, I picked up the keys and went out. When I got to the flower bed, Leo mentioned only Michael was lying there. Leo really kept his word and just left him alone. I sighed and stepped forward, pushing Michael wake up. Michael propped himself up and looked up. When he saw me, his eyes lit up and he stood up staggeringly. He drank way too much, didn't he? He's so drunk. I reached out to support him. Instead of leaning on me, Michael tightly grasped my wrist with one hand. What are you doing? Are you going to stay here overnight? Michael half drooped his eyes and his hair was a bit messy. It made him look rather obedient at the moment. He shook his head and said, "No, I'll go with you. Then let's go back to the dormitory." Michael nodded and said, "Okay." Seeing him so docile and at my mercy, he was quite obedient. With great difficulty, I brought Michael to the dormitory and pushed him into the bathroom. "Take a shower. You reek of alcohol." Michael obediently went in. After a while, the sound of the shower water started. A quarter of an hour later, Michael came out wrapped in a bath towel. I stuffed his pajamas into his hands and said, "Put them on and go to sleep." Michael held the pajamas but didn't move. Maybe because he had just taken a shower, there was still water vapor on his eyelashes and he just stared blankly at me. "Okay, change wherever you want. I'm going to bed now." Saying that, I was about to climb onto the bed. Then Michael grabbed my right hand and pressed it directly against his pectoral muscles. He said, "Let you touch." My hand instantly stiffened. Michael tilted his head and said, "You like it? Let you touch." Did he find out that I had been stealing glances at his pectoral muscles? God knows, I was really just admiring. While I was in a daze, Michael held my hand and rubbed it back and forth twice. It made my fingertips tingle. I quickly withdrew my hand and urged him, "Stop touching. Go to sleep quickly." Being urged by me, Michael's eyes looked sad. "Don't you like it?" How should I answer this? After thinking for a long time, I finally compromised and said, "It's not about like or dislike. Just go to sleep quickly, okay?" Michael didn't move. I was also stupid to try to reason with a drunkard. I gave in first. "I like it." After hearing that, Michael's mouth curved up. He smiled stupidly and said, "Then touch again. Will you go to sleep after I touch?" "Yes." Taking a deep breath, I raised my hand and quickly touched Michael's chest. Then I felt my face heat up. "All right, go to sleep now." Michael smiled and kept his eyes on me all the time. "I like you so much." The heat on my face gradually intensified. "Got it, go to sleep right away." Michael continued, "I like you so much, so much." Got it. Got it. The kind of liking where I only like you. Oh my goodness. Why is drunk Michael so annoying? Took a great deal of effort to coax Michael into bed, and as soon as I touched the pillow, I fell asleep. When I woke up again, Michael was no longer in the dormitory. By the time I finished washing up, he was coming back with breakfast. Then he put the breakfast on my desk. Before I could say anything, he said first, "Thank you for last night." So he remembered everything. Well, anyway, it wasn't me who was embarrassed. Leo is really too enthusiastic about gossip. The first thing he did when he woke up was to call me. Oh my God. I heard that Sophia got someone to get Michael drunk yesterday and confessed to him, but he just pushed her away. I covered the microphone, looked at Michael who was having breakfast, and then put on my headphones. Sophia even dissed you. I'm really fed up. How can she be so shameless? I let out a soft hum to show that I was listening. Leo then asked, by the way, how was it between you and Michael yesterday? Since he found out that Michael was chasing me, he had been very keen on matchmaking. I replied vaguely, it was nothing special. Leo just said, oh, and didn't press further. After chatting for a few more sentences, we made an appointment to go out for a stroll this afternoon. After hanging up the phone, the scenes from yesterday couldn't help but flash through my mind. My face started to heat up again. I patted my own face and comforted myself. Everyone has a weakness for good-looking people in life, unless you're a saint. I bought some clothes and it was already dark when I got back. When passing by the basketball court, Leo poked his head inside and took a look. It seems that Michael is in there. Just as he was speaking, I heard a whistling sound. Looking back, a ball hit me directly on the forehead and I immediately staggered to one side. The ball hit the ground and bounced twice. It was a basketball. Sebastian! Leo shouted as he caught me. Are you okay? My head was spinning. Leo said anxiously, quick, go to the hospital. Then he helped me up. After walking just a few steps, I heard the sound of approaching footsteps. The next second, I was lifted off the ground and carried in someone's arms. One hand supported my head and I gently leaned on a shoulder. It was the smell of Michael's shampoo. Michael was strong and tall. Instead of carrying me in a princess carry, he supported my thigh and waist with one hand and held my back with the other, with his palm hovering over my forehead. Amid Michael's heavy breathing all the way, I was taken to the hospital. After a series of examinations, it was found to be a mild concussion. After a CT scan, the doctor said there was no major problem, but I needed to stay in bed for a few days. I was asked to stay in the hospital for observation overnight. In the ward, Leo couldn't help cursing. Is Sophia an idiot? Throwing a basketball at someone. Call the police. We must call the police. Dizzy and nauseous, I didn't want to talk. I just nodded to show my agreement. Leo went out with his phone. It was just me and Michael in the room. His face became fierce again and looked gloomy. His back was also soaked with sweat. Seeing my eyes on him, he walked to the bedside. Are you feeling unwell? Go to sleep first. I'll stay here and watch over you. I blinked twice, then closed my eyes and fell asleep peacefully. The next day, after leaving the hospital, I went to the police station with the gauze on my head. There are cameras on the basketball court. It's obvious at a glance whether it was a deliberate hit. Sophia made a few excuses but finally admitted it. Under the mediation of the police, Sophia apologized and compensated and was also given a warning by the school. I thought the matter was settled like this. Who would have thought that as soon as we left the police station, Sophia started causing trouble again? She walked up to Michael and said pitifully, sorry. Michael glanced at her and said, the person you should apologize to is not me. Sophia pouted and didn't move. I don't care about her apology either. I called Michael and we left. Who would have thought that she rushed over like a crazy woman, pointed at me and scolded, it's all you, you slut. You seduced Michael. Otherwise, I wouldn't have hit you. It's all your fault. Me. I'm the one with a concussion. Why is it that she's the one with a problem in the head? My wrist felt warm. Michael directly grabbed my hand and stood in front of me with anger in his tone. Watch your mouth. Sophia went even crazier. Michael, you're still speaking up for him. If it weren't for him seducing you, you wouldn't like men. Michael warned again, I don't want to hit a woman. But there's a limit to my patience. Sophia was probably scared, but still stubbornly said, isn't it disgusting to like men? I couldn't help but laugh out loud. What, don't you like men? Or isn't Michael a man? Sophia immediately glared at me. Then, right in front of her, I put my arm around Michael's neck and asked, can I kiss you? Michael's pupils dilated and he was stunned for a moment. I smiled and pressed his head down, giving him a hard kiss. After a smooch sound, I asked Michael, what's it like to like a man? Michael's lips curved upward and he said, the feeling of liking you is really great. Sophia stomped off angrily with a livid face. I let go of the hand on Michael's neck, but he grabbed it and put it back. He directly put his arm around my waist and asked, and then? I said innocently, and then what? Michael frowned and said, you just kissed me. Oh, and then? Michael was silent for a while. He said eagerly, you have to take responsibility. I readily agreed, okay? Michael seemed a little incredulous, really? I nodded, really? You're my boyfriend now. Yes. Then delete that guy named Daniel now. Leo was the first to know the news that I was with Michael. Immediately, he called and said, I knew it. Knew what? What kind of person you like. Then you're really smart. Don't make fun of me. By the way, what about that senior before? I've made it clear to him. That's good. Michael is so jealous of him. I was confused. How do you know? Leo gave a heh sound. You want to know? Tell me. My intuition told me that there must be something between these two people. Before I had time to think, I was interrupted by Michael. He lifted my head from behind and kissed me directly. While kissing me, he also hung up my phone. He didn't let go until I could hardly breathe. He rubbed against my ear twice and said, let's just ignore him, okay? It was confirmed that there must be something between these two people that they were hiding from me. Extra story of Michael. My name is Michael. Today is the start of the new semester in college. When I dragged my luggage into the dormitory, there was already a roommate cleaning the bed. Seeing me come in, he turned around and greeted me with a smile. Hello, my name is Sebastian. He was very good looking and even more beautiful when he smiled. I was a bit stunned and my mouth automatically replied, hello, Michael. He nodded and then continued to make his own bed. When he bent down, his T-shirt was lifted up. A patch of fair skin on his waist was exposed. I quickly turned my head, but I couldn't forget that scene. I thought I was acting a bit strange and very impolite, so I deliberately avoided him, trying to erase that patch of white from my mind. But before I could forget, I heard that he liked men. This made me a bit scared. When I graduated from junior high school, a male classmate confessed his love to me and even tried to kiss me forcefully. He just pounced on me and there was a terrible smell on him. Although I managed to dodge him in the end, the feeling of his clutching my arm and that smell made me feel sick for the whole summer. Since then, I can't help but feel disgusted when I hear the word gay. So, I kept an even greater distance from Sebastian. Perhaps my actions were too extreme, causing everyone in the class to think that I hated Sebastian. To clear up this misunderstanding, I publicly stated that I was homophobic. However, as I got in touch with Sebastian, the fear in my heart gradually disappeared. Sebastian is always clean and smells nice. He smiles very nicely. He is obedient when listening to others. Sometimes he is a bit absent-minded. Occasionally he plays a little prank. I feel that my heart beats faster as soon as I see him and I can't help but want to escape. Until that day when we were playing Truth or Dare. I drew the lot to kiss him. I felt that my heart was about to jump out. Sebastian was still looking at me. All I could think about was, I wanted to kiss him so much so that I couldn't stop thinking about it. I couldn't control my actions and rushed forward. My tongue was very stiff, but I couldn't control it. After the kiss, all I felt was that his lips were so soft. When I licked the remaining warmth on my lips, it was a bit sweet. I wanted to kiss him again. However, my habit made me can't help but hide as soon as I saw him. But I couldn't help but steal glances at him. Until that night, he suddenly grabbed me and asked why I was always so fierce. Am I fierce? I've never been fierce to him. But why did he say that about me? I felt a little disappointed. He also said that I was peeping at him because I wanted to assassinate him. No, I just wanted to kiss him. The words were on the tip of my tongue, but I didn't know how to say them. Only one sentence popped out, that was my first kiss. After Sebastian heard this, he seemed a little angry, so I didn't dare to mention it again. It was also then that I belatedly realized that I liked him. So, I began to learn to control my gaze and my urge to hide when I saw him. I started looking at myself in the mirror and learning facial expression management to make myself look less fierce. I like Sebastian and I want to pursue him. But before I even started, I saw him being stopped by a boy and they were chatting and laughing and making an appointment to go out for dinner that night. I felt a little depressed. That night, I tossed and turned in bed for a long time and Sebastian didn't come back. Unable to fall asleep, I got up and went out. Coincidentally, I saw them coming back. That boy even walked him back to the dormitory. I was a little angry and couldn't help asking him. But he said it had nothing to do with me. How could it have nothing to do with me? We've kissed. I said I would take responsibility for him. But it seems that he doesn't want to take responsibility for me. I understand. It must be that I haven't shown enough affection for him. I spent the whole night learning a lot of strategies online. After chasing him for 2 days, Sebastian seems to be avoiding me. He is getting closer and closer to that guy named Daniel. Just when I was secretly anxious, his good friend Leo came to me on his own initiative and said he could help me chase him. Leo said that Sebastian likes someone more obedient and that I shouldn't push too hard. He said that Sebastian has a soft heart and that I should act pitiful appropriately. I learned it. Just that noon, when Sebastian was having a meal with that Daniel, I followed them. That girl named Sophia is really annoying. Moreover, that Daniel was flirting with Sebastian during the meal. It's so annoying. After the meal, that Daniel disappeared. Sebastian had dry lips and looked a bit thirsty, so I went to buy him some water. As a result, he didn't want to accept it. I felt a bit wronged. Remembering what Leo said, I gave it a try. As a result, Sebastian ran away. That Leo is completely useless. The basketball team had a dinner gathering at night and a group of people tried to get me drunk. I saw that Sophia looking eager to make a move and it was really boring. I planned to leave early. I was stopped by that Sophia and she directly confessed her love to me. She also said that I shouldn't like men. Who I like has nothing to do with her. I didn't want to talk to her. Unexpectedly, she leaned in and then I reached out to block her. Using a bit of force, she fell down. A group of people surrounded us. Seeing that she was okay, I took the opportunity to leave. As soon as I went out, I ran into that Leo. His eyes lit up when he saw me and he said he had another idea. Then he got me drunk and threw me in the flower bed in front of the dormitory. He called Sebastian down to pick me up. That night proved that Leo was still a bit useful. It's not easy to ease the relationship with Sebastian a bit. That Sophia jumped out to cause trouble again. She actually threw a basketball at Sebastian. At that time, I was looking up and saw Sebastian. I watched as the basketball hit him on the head. Sebastian was hit so hard that he could hardly stand steady. I almost went crazy. I rushed over, picked up Sebastian, and frantically ran towards the hospital. Fortunately, Sebastian was okay. Later, that Sophia was taken to the police station. Because it was a minor injury, in the end, she could only apologize and compensate, and she was also given a warning. I originally thought she would stay away from us from then on. Unexpectedly, she started going crazy as soon as she got out. I don't know how it happened, but as she was going crazy, Sebastian suddenly kissed me. It must be the result of my chasing him for so long. Seeing how happy we were, that Sophia left on her own. Then Sebastian said he would be responsible for me. Sebastian is mine. Sweet extra episode from Sebastian's perspective. Since being with Michael, he has no scruples. He has to hold my hand even when walking on the road. It has made the whole school know that we are together. What's even more maddening is that Michael is a clingy person. He likes to hug and kiss me whenever he gets the chance. We have the same professional courses and live in the same dormitory, so there's no way to escape. His previous well-behaved appearances seemed like an illusion, and now his true nature is fully revealed. Just now when I got back to the dormitory, I was about to take a shower. Just as I entered the bathroom with my clothes in hand, Michael rushed in from behind. He locked the door with one hand and held my head with the other and eagerly kissed me. I struggled a couple of times but was held down tightly. He even freed up one hand and slipped it under my shirt. It had only been a few days and his technique was already quite proficient. Just when I was out of breath and could hardly stand steadily, there was a knock on the bathroom door. Samuel asked anxiously, "Who's in there? How much longer? I'm about to pee my pants." Michael seemed not to hear and continued to kiss me passionately. I punched him in the chest and signaled him to stop with my eyes. Only then did Michael slowly let go. My lips hurt a bit and my mouth was incredibly dry. I tidied up my clothes and finally opened the door. Samuel, who was standing outside, stopped the hand covering his abdomen. His eyes darted around and finally he put up both hands to cover his eyes and said, "You guys continue. I'll go to the next one."